The Telegraph says the conservative Michael Moore taking on the crazy diversity industry. I'd like to give a shout out to Matt Walsh. He is doing the Lord's work. I'd like to give a shout out to the Daily Wire crew and everyone who worked on What is a Woman as well as Am I Racist? It is some of the greatest and most important activism, some of the most effective and brilliant activism, and Matt Walsh deserves some kind of independent media Emmy equivalent or whatever. Check this out. Riley Gaines says several interviewees from Matt Walsh's new film, Am I Racist?, have deactivated their X accounts since the trailer went public. As always, sunlight is the best disinfectant. And he says, folks, you're welcome. But now we have a statement from Robin DiAngelo. PhD. She basically wastes time explaining what happened. We don't need to hear it. But here's where it gets interesting. It seems like she may be lining up a fraud claim. And I noticed this right away reading her statement. She makes reference to receiving money, $15,000, to participate in a film called Shades of Justice about efforts to address racism in the United States. They plan to interview anti-racist activists, authors, and thought leaders in service of supporting the cause of racial equity. They offered between $10,000 and $20,000 for an interview. I said, let's meet in the middle with 15 and agreed to participate. When she arrived, she says a few things felt off. The group did not make eye contact with me, and the interviewer, who was introduced as Matt, appeared to be wearing an ill-fitting wig. Matt presented himself as someone new to anti-racist work and seemed earnest, and his questions did not come across as adversarial. By the end, however, things got weird. She basically goes on to explain the scene that everybody's seen already, where she pays reparations to the black producer, Ben. She tries to make it seem like Ben is a victim when the producer of the film is clearly in on it with Matt. Here's where it gets interesting, though. She does go on to criticize Matt, but she brings up how it was misrepresented. It was a different film, and I wonder if she's trying to present some kind of fraud claim. Now, so I've had some conversations in the, behind the scenes, asking some friends of mine who are lawyers what they thought. None of this is by means legal expertise or anything. Just I'm curious, and I want to say something I want to opine on. When you get those Borat style mockumentaries, my understanding is he doesn't pay anybody, but I don't know for sure. My understanding was that he just goes and says, oh, we're filming a video about this wacky guy who moves to America. You want to be in it? General release, and we'll film you. What Robin is claiming is that it was a different film name, and they materially misrepresented what was being requested from her, and the reason why they were giving her money. So I'll phrase this another way. Imagine you were offered a role in a movie, and they said, Ian, we want you to be in a commercial for the Super Bowl where you are going to, cut your nose hair or something using someone's scissors or something like this. Let's say you agree to be in that commercial. You film a bunch of different scenes. They pay you money. And then the commercial that airs says that you have AIDS. You have HIV, and it shows you sitting in a chair and it's playing sad music. This actually happened once. There was a woman, and she was a model. This is a famous story. And they asked her to take a picture. And what she didn't know was that they ran it as an advertisement where it was her and a husband, and they were little kids who were disgustingly ugly, and they were advertising plastic surgery. Basically using her image without her knowing to make claims that she was actually an ugly person who got surgery to sell plastic surgery. It destroyed her career. She sued. So I'm wondering if they went to her and they said, it's a film called Shades of Justice. We're going to pay you $15,000 in exchange for your interview, which is legal consideration, but misrepresenting it. The first thing I thought when I read this was, I wonder if she wants to sue for fraud, or she's trying to make that the claim.
As an actor in that situation, I would feel defrauded for sure if they paid me and used me and to promote some message that I didn't agree to. Yeah, hopefully there would be a legal system in place to help me against a company that would do that kind of thing.
I'll say a couple things on top of that, though. If she did sue the Daily Wire, they'd make substantially more money. They may be counting on these people suing, but also it may actually just be that they never misrepresented anything she said. Everything she said was her own words, and so she may not have any claims at all. And I have to imagine the Daily Wire had strong legal go through everything. I'm just saying it sounds like she wants to take the angle that they committed fraud against her.
I wonder if they actually created a company. What's it called? Shades of
Justice was the film that
film So they didn't actually put out a film called Shades of Justice, but if they like created an entity that then paid her, and so it was on the table, like that they had a company made just for the purpose of owning this movie, that or if it was actually Daily Wire saying that they were a different company, misrepresenting the company, and then paying her, that would have been a different story.
I gotta be honest though, if the Daily Wire reached out to Robin DiAngelo and said, we're working on a documentary film called Am I Racist?, where we explore racism, we talk to academics, that name is not bad. She would have said, okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah, she would have been like, oh yeah, wow. And it was like asking the question of like, what is racism? Are people actually racist? And we want the academics to explain what that is, because a lot of people don't think they are. That would have worked out just fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they wanted her to have that guard down. Think that she was talking to some kind of
I was going to say, as long as it wasn't the Daily Wire that reached out, she would have not said yes. That Am I Racist? A film title she might have
Or
gone
if she
for.
said yes, then she would have been very defensive against the Daily Wire and would have had, wouldn't have done some of the ridiculous things on camera.
But Matt Walsh literally walks in the room and she doesn't know who he is.
When she says ill-fitting wig, I'm like, you thought that later. You didn't know it was a
That's the
wig
vibe
then.
I'm getting too.
And I think it's interesting that she is like, he did appear to be in earnest. Like,
I think he was in earnest.
I think Matt Walsh is someone who is intellectually curious. Like, I think he really did want her genuine take and response, which is also interesting. Like, you were asked questions that someone really did want the answer to. It wasn't like a gotcha prank, and then he like, I mean, I guess she had to pay the producer, but it's not like it was humiliating if these are your values, I would assume. I don't know.
I just got to say as well, though, Matt Walsh is a master of deadpan. So she maybe thinks it's in earnest because he's just so like deadpan.
You just can't read him at all.
Yeah, he's just like, so am I racist? And it's just like, you don't get a read. He's just, Matt should learn. Matt, do you play poker? Matt would be a great poker player. He'd be sitting there stone faced and they'd be like, I have no idea what he's doing.
Really unique guy. Because at first I'm like, he's just like your normal average guy. But that's what's unique about him is he's so almost like blends in to the background. And I think he does that maybe by choice. That's kind of his.
I can only imagine the things that Matt Walsh has seen that has brought him to a point where he is unfazed by all of these things before him.
Yeah, what was his childhood like? I don't know anything about him. I want to hang out with him and know.
He saw great combat, conflict, and war, and now it's like nothing gets him going. He's just like, okay.
Or was he just on Reddit for like 8 years when he was younger, and now he's like, nothing can faze me?
I just found out recently he's younger than me.
Oh, yeah?
I'm older than Matt Walsh by 3 months.
Really? He's very adult.
It's the beard.
And the kids.
I'll never have a Matt Walsh beard.
Yeah,
I'm excited. This is coming out did it come out today?
We got to watch
Premiered this week, right?
I think today is a Thursday previews, and then tomorrow is the movie.
So I can't comment
This is
too
gonna
much
be
on it until I
huge,
see
man.
the movie, yeah.
You can already tell it's going to be massive. I'm like, they're running TV commercials for it. It's in theaters. I'm super excited for this one. I think we're going to go Korean barbecue and then watch the movie.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
It's going to make her way more famous, that's for sure. Robin DiAngelo. I think a lot of people didn't know who she was.
I am so proud of the Daily Wire. This is exactly what I've been talking about the whole time about how you win a culture war. So far what I've seen from the trailers, they have just presented them as they are, but with an authoritative tone of how silly are they? Because you want to create an atmosphere where everyone thinks, oh, of course I'm not stupid like they are. But you don't accomplish that by being so overt. Like you see that show, The New Norm, we roasted several times, where they try and do these shows that are just on the nose. Actually, Daily Wire was accused of this with the Mr. Bircham or whatever that show was called. They said or Lady Ballers, they say all of the jokes are too on the nose. It's like you're literally just saying this is a bad thing. This is masterfully done in that Matt Walsh, in earnest, asking them questions, makes them look stupid. And it makes them the butt of the joke without directly saying they're stupid.
I'm just wondering, am I racist? Genuine question. I wonder about that. What is white supremacy?
Have you given Serge reparations?
No, I never did.
He's African American.
But I want to repair his microphone. That'd be a nice place to start.
It's not broken. Serge made a choice.
Look at that haircut, man.
Serge made a creative decision.
Is it even cut? That hair is just like
Afro cut.
a bush, just a wild South African bush growing wild.
I think you're bullying
Like
our
the
only
acacia plant.
African American
I love
employee
his
in
hair.
the room.
No, he's beautiful.
That's called positive discrimination, Ian, so you're racist.
You're right. I was discriminating about how awesome his hair is.
That actually is. To these people, this is the crazy thing. Like, that's considered a bad racist thing. No, you can't say Asians are good at math. It's a compliment, but it's a racial stereotype, and it's wrong. Not all Asians are good at math.
Yeah, when people are like, "Oh, I love black women," that's like a racist. Technically, it is a racist comment. Like, if you're like, I like this particular race of woman or creed of woman or whatever, like, quit being so racist. Sometimes you're just chemically drawn to things.
I'm good at math.
Well, that goes without saying.
I don't know. I don't know. That's how the business works.
Maybe you guys can say this. What is white supremacy?
Well, in the literal sense of what most rational human beings think it means, it's people who believe that white racial genetics and ethnicities are superior to other races. Of course, to these people, it literally just means Western civilization.
That's what I'm wondering. And so I got to ask someone that's in this state of mind, this weird thing, what is it?
Okay, well, let's break it down.
I don't think Robin's taking questions now, though.
Yeah.
It seems like she might be fading off.
Let's break down the reality of it. Everybody knows what white supremacy is, and the quote-unquote anti-racist authors know exactly what white supremacy is. They decided to use the phrase white supremacy different to how it normally is used in an effort to manipulate people of weak will. So the technique is take a phrase that is obviously a bad thing that everyone hates, apply something else to it, and then you can demonize that thing. So, for instance, what they're talking about is Western civilization. They say being on time is white supremacy. They say saving for the future. I'm not exaggerating. They say saving for the future is white supremacy. Anything that is a component, meritocracy is white supremacy. So basically, white supremacy means bad thing.
I can guarantee meritocracy is not. If they said that, they're wrong, because Genghis Khan was all about meritocracy.
I know, and they're racist. And I've told this story many times. The guy in North Dakota who said that he said scheduling is white supremacy. It's colonial thinking to me. And I was like, what? Because I had a meeting. I have a meeting in 3 days. I got to leave. And he goes, that's colonial thinking. The white colonial settlers brought schedules to the United States. Native Americans just woke up when they needed to. And I was like, Asians had time. Like I'm part Korean. Like my people had a sense of time and set schedules well before the white people came. And he goes, well, but we all know the white settlers went to Asia and gave those ideas. And I was like, China invented the compass 1,000 years before you, dude. You are nuts. And I said, I was like, somewhat jokingly, but like somewhat seriously. And I said, I will not sit here, because I was at a table full of people, and have a white supremacist tell me that he is better than my people and my ancestry or whatever. But this is the funny thing. They're literally just white supremacists. And I mean that in the literal sense. They are white people who think they are superior and they're guilty about it. I'm not exaggerating. It's not meant to be cute. When people like Robin DiAngelo give money to a black man, she's literally saying it's because I'm better off than you are, so you need this. That is the mentality they possess. Instead of being like, I don't know, Will Smith's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He doesn't need anything from me. I don't care about his race. He's a very smart, talented, and wealthy individual. They don't. They say, nope, skin color. That's white supremacy. It's them. There you go.
Yeah. Racial supremacy in general. Just like thinking
well,
your
I
own
gotta
race
tell you,
is
dude,
superior.
Koreans are very racist.
In what way?
They literally believe they're the supreme race.
Korea?
Now yeah. And the younger generations don't hold these views, but there's actually a deep historical reason for it. So, Japan, of course, just brutalizes and rapes the Koreans quite a bit. I'm 5% Japanese, by the way. Ask me how that happened.
That's awesome.
And not in that context. Jeez, Ian, calm down. So anyway, basically, the Japanese are very ethno-nationalist and racially supremacist. They believe Japanese people are superior, blah, blah, blah. Or at least they did to a great degree hundreds of years ago. So when they enslave and conquer parts of Korea and basically control Korea, the Korean response was, no, we're actually the superior race. They needed morale to counter the conquest of the Japanese. And so they built within their own culture that they were actually superior. And so now they very much think they're superior. But again, the younger generations don't hold those views. The older generations tend to.
Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe and we'll see you all there.